Well, good afternoon, traders. Francois here, and today we are going to go through the market review for last week's trade setups that we shared via this specific channel. So, if you can hear me loud and clearly, please let me know in the chat section. I'd really appreciate that. I would also love to know who's here. So, if you can just, pop me your name as well. I'd just love to see who is here today as well. Just let me know. I just want to see here. So let's just check quickly if the chat is live. It should be live. Everything seemed to be okay. There we go. Merida. Hi, Francois. Hi, Merida. Welcome to today's session. Okay. I wonder if I just have Merida here. Maybe I have a few more people. We'll see. Okay, there we go. Loud and clear from Jacqueline. Fantastic. So I truly hope and I trust. There we go. Trevor, I'm here. Trevor, hello, hello. Mike Salia, hi, how you doing? There we go. Let me see. Any more coming through? Probably just now. Well, as we're getting started, as I said, we are going to have a look at the trade setups that we shared last week. We're going to go through them, see how they played out, etc. And if you have any questions about any of these, please feel free to ask me. Okay, before we do this though, kindly just familiarize yourself with the risk disclosure currently on your screen. Obviously, everything as usual shared during the session is not financial advice, it's just my opinion. As today we are going to look at past opinions. We are just going to see how everything played out. But again, no financial advice, but I am going to be sharing some tips and insights regarding how you can maximize on every single one of the trade opportunities that we shared during the week on our channel here specifically. Okay, so let's get back into it. Let me see if there's any additional comments that were shared from any one of you. So here we go. Schultz, yes, loud and clear. Neil, hi Francois. Hi Neil, how you doing? And there we go. I see I have Marissa here as well. She also says loud and clear. That is absolutely fantastic. So we have quite a few people here already. For some reason, my chair just decided that it's going to lower itself. So let me just bump that up a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to the YouTube video. Then we're going to have a look what was said, and then we're going to see how that played out. If you have any questions regarding any of this, please let me know, and then we will go from there onwards. Okay, so let's first get the YouTube video up. Let me see. Okay, there we go. And let me just share that with all of you. So let me share my screen here. There we go. Okay, so let's press play on this, and then we are starting things off with our first Forex pair that was analyzed last week, and this was last week Monday. So let's see how that went. If you can't hear the video sound that I'm playing, please let me know. It's not playing yet, okay? But the moment I start playing the video sound, if you can't hear that, please let me know, and then what I will do is I'll basically just, talk you through what it says. It's the first time that I'm actually sharing another video on the YouTube channel, so if it doesn't work, just let me know. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so that was USD ZAR's analysis. Just let me know in the chat section real quick. Could everyone hear that? If you couldn't, please let me know. While I get the USDZAR charts up here so we can see how that actually played out. If you couldn't, okay, so Marita said no sound. Okay, not a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to still pull it up. We're going to have a look at USDZAR, and I'll just basically say what was said in the video. So I do apologize that there was no sound. I will then just ensure that we actually get through those videos as quick as possible to ensure that that doesn't take up too much time. Obviously, I can't remember what every one of them said. So, yeah. Okay, so let's start off. So, I'm going to rewind this so we can all see what we basically saw last week. So, rewinding back to Monday, the 17th of April. So, this is kind of where we were at. Okay, so the chart kind of looked something like this. There we go. So that was USDZAR. Okay. Let me just see here. So I do see here. Okay, so that was then Neil also said no sound on the video. Sorry. Okay, there's no sound. Okay, fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to recap. Okay. So this was the analysis. We were close to support. And then basically what was said in the video was that if we close above 1815, so let's just draw that in. Okay, so here we have 1815. So that was the level that we were aiming for. Again, if we closed above that level, that we were going to look for buy opportunities. And if we close below 17.96, which we obviously know didn't happen, then we would have been looking for sell opportunities. Is everyone with me on this? If you're not, please let me know. But okay, so let's see how this actually played out from here. So just going to fast forward a few candles. Saw it push down a little bit, got close to actually giving us a sell. And there was our first entry. So it actually broke through that 18.5, and we had an hourly close at 18.17. So 18.17, if we placed our buy in there, and then to see how that would play out from here onwards. So let's have a look. I'm going to let it run till about 7, 8 o'clock that evening, and then just see how far things actually went. Obviously, you could have taken profits at any point in stage during the day. Okay, so it did push back a little bit, then pushed up really hard, kept going. And as far as I remember, I think it started consolidating around about this area right here. What's the time? Okay, and there we are. That was, okay, that's actually a little bit later. Now we're already at like 10 o'clock. So let's see where it was around 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock was that second red candle over there. So here we can see pushed up, let's say about 0.7%. And that was about 13 cents on USDZAR. Now, what does this actually mean for you as the trader? Well, pretty simple. So let's have a look. USDZAR, if we did enter into a position on this specific currency, just having a quick, just needing to log back in here. I actually thought I was logged in, but I have load shedding on my end, so I see that they did log me out of the terminal. So here we go. Okay, so if you entered into into USDZAR, sorry, not euro anything. If you entered into USDZAR with a trade size of, let's see here, roughly about $250, that would have given you a little bit over $360 in profits. So if your total capital allocation to this specific trade was in the ballpark of about $250, you would have made, well, more than double that on this specific trade. Now, before I go any further, I probably know that I have one or two questions from anyone here. So if you do have any questions for me, please pop them for me into the chat section right now, and I will see to answer it as best as I can. So please just let me know in the chat section real quick if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, let me know as well. So the exact figure on that, actually, if we made that 13 cents profit, so 13 cents profit with $250 capital allocation would have given you $358 in profit. Okay, so now let me see. Okay, so I know this no sound, so I'm done by that part. Okay, so Mike Celia, currently still in a bear trade with a stop loss at 18.7 from the top flag. Mike, when did you enter into this specific trade? Please let me know. Obviously, I'm not going to be reviewing any other trade positions during this. I'm literally just looking at the trade setups that was shared. So if there is a question regarding the specific trade setup that was shared, let me know in the chat section. I would be more than happy to answer any one of those questions. So, and then again, did you actually enter into this trade? We shared this trade. Did you enter into it? Yes or no? If you did, please let me know. I really do hope that you obviously generated profits. You don't have to share that, like how much profit was actually generated. But please let me know in the chat section. I would really appreciate to hear from every single one of you. Okay, so Mike Celia says he entered about 4 this morning. Okay, cool. Mike, if you do have my email address, my email, I'm going to put it for you in the chat section as well, which is guru@smartonlinetrader.com. You can send me an email there, and we can obviously talk about that specific trade there, okay? So Marita says, okay, here we go. I'm unsure of the stop loss in the setup. Should I use the ATR? Okay. Then I have another one here from Willem Skutz. Okay, so he says, so close above a certain level means the candle must close above and then we can put in the position. That is 100% correct. Okay, so I'm just answering that one first because that's the easiest one. Okay, so a break above that specific level, that means that the breakout has happened and then we can enter into the trade position. So that is absolutely perfect. Okay, so 100% happy with that. Then Marida, I didn't forget about you. I'm still going to get your answer. So Trevor says, yes, and I profited. Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure. Ideal stop loss on these unspecified trades, okay, just below that last swing low. So yeah, okay, there's various ways that we can go about this. So let me actually just take this away and we can have a look quickly here by adding in this long position here again. So entering into this trade right here. Okay, so first things first, you can obviously go the more traditional route of adding your stop loss, you know, a little bit below these previous low points. So that's definitely an option here. Let me just see if I have one out. An additional one that you can obviously use as well is the parabolic SAR. And as you see here as well, the parabolic SAR kind of lines up very, very nicely with those previous lows. Okay, so that's something you can use as well. And then we can have a look at using things like the ATR. You can also use fractals. So there are various different ways. It all depends on your specific trading strategy, on where you are specifically going to be placing your trade. Okay, so where you are specifically going to be placing your stop loss is based on your trading strategy. So whether you like using the parabolic SAR, which is one of my favorites, or the ATR, another one up there, then as I said, there are a few other options such as fractals, or you can use the previous swing lows or swing highs to identify those specific stop loss levels. And as I stated, all as per your trading strategy. So what you are comfortable with. Okay. So Marita, I do hope that that answers your question. Yaku, okay, I answered that one. Jacqueline said she didn't trade it. Okay. Marne says, is the analysis always on the 1 hour chart so we can wait for the close on that 1 hour chart? Okay, so the analysis is mostly, I would say, we'll wait for the 1 hour close. Okay, but there are other circumstances, and I'm going to cover one or two of those trades as well. So there are other circumstances, such as last week Friday, I think it was Thursday or Friday. I believe it was Friday. We had this massive movement all of a sudden on gold, and normally when you see big spikes like that, you can drop down to a lower time frame. But if you just wanting to enter into normal day trades, I would say that the 1 hour time frame is quite sufficient to wait for those closing opportunities. And at the end of the day, if you don't capitalize on every single opportunity, that's not the end of the world. Okay, there's a trading opportunity every single day. So let's just capitalize on every single one of those trading opportunities that are available to us that you can actually enter into. So going back to that question, yes, the 1 hour time frame is a pretty decent time frame to use to start getting consistent entries on a lot of the analysis that we offer. Okay. I actually do see now that I didn't share my trade analysis with anyone here. So let me just pop my share screen on again. Okay, so just to clarify again, as you can see here, we had the trade enter there. Sorry about that. So we had the trade entry right there. The parabolic SAR actually gave us the stop loss right here at the bottom, which is also our previous swing low. And then obviously the trade played out all the way here to the top. Okay, so that was probably the easiest way to identify your stop loss and high points, etc., on this specific setup. Now, let me just quickly see if there was anything else that I didn't answer. Okay, I answered Marnus's question. I answered Yaku's question. Neil, if memory serves me correctly, I entered earlier into a sell. Bad choice. Sorry to hear that, Neil. And this is one of the reasons why, it's absolutely of utmost importance to wait for those closes. Okay. And Willem Scott says hourly candle is the safest. Absolutely. Okay. Trevor, previous lows on which time frame? I would still use the 1 hour time frame for those previous low points, Trevor. So that would be my general consensus. If you're looking for the entry, just stick to that 1 hour time frame. Okay. So I think that's all the questions on this specific one. I want to move on to some of our other trade setups as well, just to make sure that we're all on the same page and see how some of these trades played out. If there is any other questions that pop up, I'm obviously going to answer them, so please keep them coming. I do want to ask as well, I see I have about 16 people here currently viewing. If you could just smash that like button, it obviously helps for our rankings on YouTube as well. So I would really appreciate that. So just hit that like button while you're watching. It's pretty simple. I mean, we're all commenting quite nicely, so just add that like button for me, please. Okay, so Yaku says, I exclusively use the 1 hour to confirm the trade, but the 30 and 5 minute time frames to determine the stop loss. That's perfect, because that's as per Yaku's trading strategy. And that's why I said earlier as well, if you're using the various tools such as the parabolic SAR, or you're using the ATR, or using fractals, or just the previous swing lows, it doesn't really matter as long as it is as per your trading strategy, which you have backtested, that you are comfortable trading with. A lot of people viewing this today have full-time jobs. So if you have that full-time work, full-time employment that you still need to attend to, it's not always feasible to trade on lower time frames. And hence, in that sense, the 1 hour time frame just works the best. So yes, hence why I said that would be the option that I choose. But Yaku, if that time frame works for you and you are comfortable trading on those lower time frames, that is absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much for that. I do see those likes coming in. Please keep them coming. I really do appreciate them. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move over to the next analysis for today, or the next trade opportunity that we had, and just going to see quickly on what this was. So I'm just going to watch this video real quick. I'll talk you guys through it. So this was on the S&P 500. Okay, so just want to get that. So on this one, it was primarily specifically for a buy. Okay, so as we were trading in an ascending channel on the S&P 500, so I'm just going to switch over to that. Here we go. I just want to take this parabolic SLR off again. Okay. Just want to see where we were on this specific one, just so we can go back to Monday. So getting that replay. Here we go. That's Friday. Yeah, that's already Tuesday. So Monday we were, I think this is about when we sent out the video. So around about here you would have been able to see what happened if I drop this down to an hourly time frame as well. So as we were in this ascending channel for the day, I did state that if we broke above, sorry, if we broke above 4,160, which was this previous high point over here, if we actually got above that level, we could see additional high points achieved on this. And if I remember correctly, that was never achieved during the day. So here we can see actually broke lower, broke to the bottom of that channel. And okay, so there was actually an entry. No, this was on Tuesday already. Okay, so if you did enter on Tuesday, that would have been fine. For me, I kind of just look at the trades from off a daily perspective. So it is my trade setup for the day. So if it goes beyond that day, then I would just see how the market is reacting again, see which points we can analyze from there. So on this specific one, as the trade only broke the next day at 11 o'clock, not 100% a clean setup, but should you have entered into this, let me know how it went. For me, I kind of just look at the trades from a daily point of view. So yeah, okay. I'd love to see additional comments coming through from you, see how things go. I do see still here that I have quite a few viewers that haven't smashed that like button. So if you haven't done so yet, please do so. And then, as I said, I would really appreciate it. Okay, moving over to our next one for the day, which was crude oil. Let's quickly see how crude was forecasted to play out. So just going here again, having a quick listen here too. I know you guys weren't here. Okay, so here we had that. Okay. Okay, so going back over here to oil, let me just pull up that. Okay, so here we still had that. We had that triangle formation here on oil, and we said that on the video, if we do get a close below 81.75, so let's just check where that was. So 81.75 was around about right here. Okay, so there's actually about 2 points where we actually got to that specific level, as you can see here. So let me just pop up an arrow here real quick so we can actually see. So we initially had that very first break quite early. This was Monday at 10 o'clock, and this literally closed just before that, just about at that 75 level. It closed like dead at 75. There you can see that's 8175, and that's as the candle closed. So there's that exact level at 81.75. It broke back. So if you didn't get that initial first entry, you would have gotten this second entry over here that closed roughly about at the same level, still having that 81.75. So again, having entered into our short position over here, regardless of where you put your stop loss. So you could either place it at this previous high points, as we also stated, using the parabolic SAR or using the fractals or ATR indicator. We did have a nice sell-off during Monday, all the way to our low point, which was around this level right here. So this was around 7 o'clock in the evening. You had that low point right here. And if you did enter into this position, so having a quick look here, what was the potential possibility on this as well? So going over to oil, allocating roughly the same as we did earlier with USD ZAR. So we're doing $264. That entire move on oil was about $1.2, so it was 1.5%. So if we had a sell position on this specific commodity and moving $1.2, we would have been, so just adding in here, sorry, I just want to get the calculation quite perfect here for you. So that would have been roughly about $200 in profit. And obviously that was just up to this first point. So if your trading strategy allowed you to hold it longer, or maybe obviously there was additional trade setups Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. We're going to have a look at them if we do have time during the session. But that obviously went quite a lot further. So please let me know, did any one of you enter into the crude oil trade on Monday? Did you profit from this trade? Yes, no. Is there any additional questions? I would love to hear from you. I also love seeing all those likes coming in. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. So let me know quickly, is there any additional questions before we move on to the next setup? I just want to see here. Let me pop my face up here again, just so that you guys can see that I haven't disappeared. I'm still here. There we go. Thank you so much. Okay, now let me see if there is any questions. Wait. Popped up the wrong tab. Did it again. Okay, here we go. No questions coming through. So everyone happy on this one? Can I move on? If you don't have a question, let me know as well. I'd love to hear from you. So if you don't have a question, please let me know. I'd really appreciate hearing from you. Just want to see, I'm going to give it about a second. I'll get the next setup ready so long. Waiting for any questions to come through here. Okay, so Willem says all good. Anyone else, anyone with a question, please let me know. If there isn't any, so what I'm going to do again, I'm just going to pop on the video again. Again, you'll probably not hear the sound. I really don't know why. But what I'm going to do, so this was on gold. Here you can see the analysis for gold. I just want to hear what was said. Okay, there we go. So as stated in the analysis here, if we get a close either a retest on that support and then a bounce from there, or a close above 2007 or below 1993. We'll either look for those buy or sell opportunities. So let's quickly pop over to gold, have a look what happened here on that specific day, and then just rewind back to Monday. So okay, I do see I did alter my analysis slightly since then, but we can still have a look at what specifically happened on this day. So okay, this was still relatively early. This was Monday though, so we did have that spike. What happened afterwards? So obviously I want to keep it as accurate to when the video came out. So already at this point, we were coming back for a retest opportunity, but we were above 2007. So obviously going on that specific analysis, you know, seeing that we were above 2007, it was reasonable to look for a buy position at this high point over here, which was after that close at 2010, looking for that little bit of a rally to see if there was any higher points that came into the market. But clearly there wasn't really much at that specific stage. So there was, you know, lower points coming in. And obviously based on where you put your stop loss, you could have probably triggered your stop loss around that area there. Obviously I wouldn't have gone anywhere lower than that previous low point where I said at 193. So, and again, this was around that 2-3 o'clock level. So again, having risked more or less $250 or allocated $250 of capital, we would have looked here at roughly about, I normally don't risk more than I allocate, so $250 in loss, but we were already up from that USD ZAR trade plus the oil trade. So some good trades did come out of that specific day still, even though we did hit a stop loss. At the end of the day, we have to accept that these would have happened, that these would take place at some point in time. And should that happen, or should that take, it's just part of your trading. Okay, we can't be right every single time. This is, you know, part of trading. So just looking at that specific setup there, what was possible, what would have lost more or less. So like I said, allocating roughly, you said, as per our previous trades as well, $250, $260, looking at a stop loss of roughly about the same amount on that specific pair. But still looking at, on oil, we were up about $200. On USD ZAR, we were up, if I remember correctly, it was like $360. So just on that specific one, we would have been up an additional 100. So still up roughly about $300 for the day. So not a bad trading day at all. Okay, should there be any additional questions, let me know. I'm going to review one more day, so please let me know. So this was obviously last week, Monday. So if there's a specific day last week that you would like me to review, now's the time to pop that for me into the chat section. So I would love to hear from every one of you. Which specific day do you want me to review for last week? As obviously, if we have to review every single day, we are going to sit here till 3 o'clock. Not that I mind. I love spending time with all of you. So, but other than that, please let me know in the chat section. Okay, so let me see here. All good. Okay, that was the last comment I read. Then I have one here from Willem. Willem says, het te laat ingeskakel om enige vrae te vra, dankie. Willem, I'm sure by now you should be able to ask 1 or 2 questions. I'm sure it's possible by this point. Other than that, if I can get some suggestions on which specific day you also want me to review, please pop that for me into the chat section. I would love to hear from you. So Neil says Dow had the same big drop on that day. Yes, Dow did have a very, very similar drop on that day. So you will normally see that gold as a safe haven kind of mimics what the stock market does, because the fact that there is certain parts where, if the dollar strengthens, we do see some weakness coming into some of our other asset classes. Although there is, on the other hand, again, times where so we just have to look at what the fundamental news was. Because why? Some days we do have additional fundamental news that comes out that is extremely bearish for the stock market, but it could drive investors or traders to safe haven assets such as gold, and that again can push the price of gold up. Okay, but if the fundamental news was specifically aimed towards inflation, which, if I remember correctly, this obviously leads to additional strength within the dollar, and that strength within the dollar leads to weakness in some of our index funds as well as our commodity pairs. Okay. So any suggestions on another specific day for us to quickly review before ending the session? Please let me know in the chat section. I'm not seeing anything come through as yet. I would love to hear from all of you. If you can just give me any specific day. Other than that, seeing that this is the first review that we are doing on some of our trade setups from the previous week, do you have a little bit more clarity now on, how to capitalize on each and every one of these trade setups? As that is my primary purpose for having this session with you, is I want you to be able to capitalize on every single trade setup. Is that a little bit more clear? If it's not, please send me a message, give me a question, let me answer that question for you, so that you can get to that point where you can consistently profit of each and every one of these setups. Okay, so I'm going to give it a few more seconds. If there's no specific day that anyone wants me to review, then I am going to let you all get back to your day. So I'm going to give it about a minute just to see if any messages come through. If nothing comes through, as I said, I'm going to let you get back to your day. And I really do hope that you found benefit out of the session, just so that you can go forward on a daily basis now, have a look at the videos that we share, and then, maximize each and every one of those trading opportunities to get the best results out of your trading account and your trading journey. I'm still not seeing any messages come through here. I don't know why. Okay, here we go. So Willem says, yes, understand more. Did struggle with the close above and below. So thank you for that. I do appreciate that feedback, Willem. Thank you for that. Okay, so Jacqueline says, yes, it is becoming more clearer. That is fantastic news as well. So thank you for that as well, Jacqueline. Well, seeing that there's no additional days, I'm sure we're all happy with the session. So then what I'm going to do is I am going to end the session after reading everyone's comments here as well. So Willem says, gaan hierdie sessie op video beskikbaar wees? Yes, so Willem, after the session has concluded, it will be available on our channel, as well as I will be adding it to the I will share the link on our trading channels as well on Telegram. So yes, the recording for the specific session will be available. So Marita says, thanks Francois, stop loss was my problem on some trades, but more clear now. Marita, thank you so much for that feedback. I truly do appreciate that as well. So traders, I trust that, well, as per the comments, you truly found this session beneficial. We will have more of these sessions where we'll obviously be going through a little bit more of the reviews quicker, but just looking at some of the setups, looking at why some did not work out, why some worked out. And that'll be more or less my focus next week. So next week, I'm going to have a bit more of an in-depth look at specifically the trades that didn't work out, but we're also going to have a look at the trades that did work out, and then we will be able to, you know, compare apples to apples, and then, obviously answer all your questions regarding that as well. So as always, thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic, blessed day further, and may the force be with you. Cheers.